a double insecurity. On the one hand, the success of the church itself, because we are talking about a few thousand people who were living on this compound, at least temporarily, is an expression of the feeling of insecurity in which most of the rural populations in Angola live. And the other part of the insecurity is the insecurity that the regime is feeling for anything that might look like civilian movement of within.
They've also linked them to the opposition, UNITA, but there's no evidence of this.
Finally, where does the public stand in all this? I mean, have there been any outcry?
You know, there's a lot of indifference from people in the capital, Luanda. As for rural people, there's a lot of fear. And sadly, this isn't getting much international press either.
Okay, my thanks there to RFI's Brenna Daldorf. You're listening, of course, to Paris Live PM. Don't go away. We've got another bulletin coming right up in about 30 seconds' time with RFI's Angela Diffley, so stay tuned.
RFI's Pick of the Month.
Cabrera. And the news at just after hour, Iran has ordered an increase in oil production of 500,000 barrels per day as it moves to take advantage of the end of sanctions following the green light given by the UN nuclear inspection body. The IAEA confirmed on Saturday that Tehran had complied with its obligations under the accord reached in July. However, despite warming relations between Washington and Tehran, the US Treasury on Sunday imposed new sanctions on 5 Iranian nationals and a network of companies based on the United Arab Emirates and China in connection with Iran's ballistic missiles program. Iran's foreign ministry said today the new measures were illegitimate and insisted that the missile program had no links with the nuclear issue. At least one person has been killed and another has been seriously wounded after a rocket fired from a jihadist-controlled area in Syria slammed into a school playground in Turkey. The local governor's office in the town of Kilis, just north of the border with Syria, said a female school cleaner was killed and a in Davos in Switzerland tomorrow, the figures also show that 62 people own as much wealth as the poorest half of the world's population. 4 worshippers have been killed in a suicide bombing at a mosque in northern Cameroon, according to a security source. Today's blast hit the village of Ngetchue in Cameroon's far north region, in an area near the border with Nigeria, regularly targeted by Boko Haram jihadists. And the Niger government and United Nations staff say they have moved 99 schools to safer zones out of harm's way from Boko Haram jihadists who attack from neighboring Nigeria. That's according to the United Nations today. The program was launched in November and has enabled nearly 6,000 pupils to resume their lessons, according to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in Niamey. And here in France, 5 French foreign legionnaires were killed today in an avalanche as they were on a training exercise in the French Alps, that's according to police sources. Another 6 were injured in the resort of Val-Fréjus. One of the 6 is in intensive care in hospital. And that's the news.
27 minutes to the hour here at Paris Live PM. My thanks there to RFI's Angela Diffley for that look at today's main news stories, and on the note of corruption in Nigeria that she mentioned at the end of that bulletin. The country's president, Muhammadu Buhari, has directed the anti-corruption agency in Nigeria, that's the EFCC, to probe 17 top serving and retired military officers alongside the former National Security Advisor for diversion of military equipment funds and enriching themselves with millions of dollars of public funds. Now, the decision follows a recommendation of an audit report into procurement of arms and equipment in the armed forces and defence sector from 2007 to 2015. Now, with me to discuss this topic is Umaima Sani of the RFI House of Service. Now, Umaima, can you tell our listeners what led to